AFL season 2025 is just about to start, and every expert, every pundit, every commentator, every person you meet on the street has an opinion on what is going to happen this year. What will the final ladder be? There are many different ways to interpret it, but here are the logical ones. Option one is to just look at recent data patterns. Here is the ladder from 2023, and here's how it changed into 2024. Collingwood jumped right down, Hawthorn jumped right up, Sydney did pretty well, and Melbourne dropped right down. So assuming these data patterns repeat, and the ladder positions change in the same way from 24 to 25 as they did in 23 to 24, the ladder will look like this. Carlton taking out top spots, St Kilda getting into the top four. What a great year for them. A few teams dropped down. West Coast surprisingly making finals. Freo, really disappointing year. And very sad, Gold Coast Suns taking out yet another wooden spoon. And also a fun fact, if the finals went the same way as they did last year, Port Adelaide would beat Carlton in the grand final, which is exciting for Blues fans. You get to be in a grand final for the first time this century. And exciting for everyone else because we get to see Carlton lose a grand final. Obviously, that's a fair amount of false logic. So let's look at some serious data. But keep it simple. Let's look at disposals per game. Obviously, if you have the ball more than the opposition, you are logically going to win more games. So which teams had the most disposals per game last year? If that was how you measured the ladder, this is what it would look like. Essendon and GWS would make the top two. Dogs and Freo making out the top four. Some surprising teams down the bottom. Collingwood, Port Adelaide and Geelong are both in there. I mean, they both made top four last year. They were preliminary finalists, for heaven's sake. It's a very weird way to measure the ladder, but it could be accurate. And if your team can't win the grand final, every footy fan just wants the fairy tale finish. This is the ladder based on how much of a fairy tale them winning this year would be. St Kilda obviously taking out the top spot, breaking that 20 billion year premiership drought they have suffered. Hawthorn, Sam Mitchell taking that ragtag bunch of misfits and turning them into the hockball team. North Melbourne being up there. Now down the bottom, Brisbane, Collingwood, Geelong, they won the last few grand finals. That's not much of a fairy tale. Look, and I get it. You might be surprised that I've put Hawthorn so high up on the fairy tale ladder, but that would mean they lose the grand final. And isn't that the absolute greatest fairy tale of all? Of course, for every fairy tale, there is a dark story that could potentially come true. This is what the ladder would look like if Vladimir Putin decided to nuke every single Australian capital city. Congratulations, Geelong, Freo, and Gold Coast. You all made top three because all 15 other clubs were absolutely obliterated in a fiery miasma of terror and destruction. But would make for an exciting final series. I think Geelong would win, even though I think Freo are the strongest side right now. But we all know, even in a radioactive apocalypse, Freo would still find a way to choke. And here's what the ladder would look like if you just added up every single player's jumper number from last year's playing squads. Congrats, Richmond. You finally got up there. Big thanks to Marline Pickett for wearing number 50, which really helped get you over the line. West Coast right up there. Sydney, Hawthorn, Essendon, what are you doing? So many low numbers. Think of the maths, people. Come on. And finally, this is what the ladder will look like if you just add up all the letters in the captain's names and score them by Scrabble. Congratulations, Brisbane, although you did cheat a little bit by having two captains. Geelong, Patrick Dangerfield doing some great Scrabble heavy lifting with the G and the F and just so many letters. Same with Marcus Bontempelli. Absolute disappointment for GWS. Toby Green, what are you thinking? I think B is the only letter that's worth more than 1 point. So enjoy 2025. It should be a standard year of footy. Should be fun, should be exciting, should be terrible at all different parts. If you're a Dogs fan, I'm doing a live show of my podcast with Tom Boyd at the Comics Lounge Saturday, March 8. Would love to see you down. Even if you're not a Dogs fan, come down and just hear me bang on about my club. If you've enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, all the YouTube things they want to do. There's merch, there's all of that. I feel dirty saying this. I'll make some more nonsense throughout the year. Hope you enjoyed it.